Alright, and welcome again to this video. And for this session, we will discuss about views, layouts, and Bootstrap. So basically, the views is responsible for how your website will look like. So inside the views, you will see JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So that's how your layouts or website will look like. So first, we already know what are views. So these views are being saved under the views folder. So after the controller, let's say, calculates or creates a query, after that, all of those responses or datas will be transferred to the views. And usually, in your website, we always want it to look consistent. Like for example, there are websites that it has these menus on top, and then there's this data at the bottom or at the footer of the website. So in Bootstrap, there is what we call a layouts. So in for creating a layout, so you usually create it under the views. So for example, we need to create a new folder just to organize our layout. So let's say layouts, and under the layouts, that is where you add your uh, layout or view file. So let's call it default. So a layout is just basically the same as a view, but it is being used all throughout your website for consistency. So to create a layout, you just basically add this code. So just gonna copy this, and it will look like this. So what we're seeing here is the that Bootstrap has a built-in called render section. So in this render section, we basically call a certain section called content. So you can name this whatever you want, as long as it's relative or it basically makes sense. All right. So what we're planning to do, all of our views should use this default layout. So let's say my website. There you go. And this is basically ready for other views or other pages to use this. So all pages will, well, let's say it will inherit this code and will be used all throughout the design. All right. So the next thing that we need to do is for a certain page or action to use this layout. So let's say in this view called students, and it has an action called index. So to use the layout that we have, so we'll just copy this copy and paste this code. So what it means here is that we are going to extend a certain layout called default. So take note that the default.php file or layout that we created is under the layouts folder. So all views are basically found in the views folder. So right now we are calling a certain default view that doesn't exist. That is because our default file or default layout is under the layouts folder. So what you need to do is first specify the folder called layout, and under that layout, layouts, is the default.php file. So basically, we are referring to this file. All right. So here, mm, let's say use a paragraph. So let's say I am using a layout. So in this way, we don't need to recreate a certain layout or template. So we just need to extend a certain layouts file. So with this, it's already ready, and we just need to run our server. So we just need to run our Spark. So PHP Spark serve, and there you go. It ran our development server. All right. So since our uh, the what do you call it, our uh, this index file is found in the students controller. So take note, it's under the uh, students folder. So if you check our students, it goes to this index action. So as you can see here, we have returned a certain view called students, and under the students we found the index file. So our URL should be students, or let's just say students, because the index is the default URL. So if it doesn't found any action under our controller, so it will basically look for the index file. So we don't need to type index, although you can, but since it's the default file, so we don't need to. And right now we are getting an error. So it says too few arguments to function. So it says here that there is a parameter or arguments that we need to pass when we need to access this URL. So if we take a look, it has this variable. So meaning we have to fill this variable in the URL. So in that case, so we need to specify the index since it needs to have the actions in the URL. So take notes, it's always controller, actions, and then argument. So let's put, since it's a student ID, so we could put anything here, or a combination of, or basically alphanumeric. There you go. So we have successfully used our layout. So that means whenever I change in my layout, it will automatically be inherited by our actions. So if I put something like a style, let's say style, oops, so style, then let's say body and background color. Okay, so maybe let's put something here, type is equals to CSS text and CSS, then body, let's say background color, let's say gray. And as you can see, I don't need to change anything in the view, but rather in the layout. So we can maybe add something at the top. Let's say this is just for demo, but later we will add Bootstrap in our layout. Let's say a link, say home, say about, oops, just like that. So all throughout our pages, the layouts will be rendered. So another, maybe let's create another example. Let's say student, let's say grades, PHP. And just to make it easy for us, let's just copy this and then paste it. Let's say grades, student, grids. And of course, we need to create our action in our controller. So just copy things here. We don't need this. Of course, the name, grids. Don't need this. Don't need this. And don't need this. And of course, we need to change it into the views that the view that we want to render. So grids. And maybe let's add a link here. So let's say in our layout, let's put here instead. So let's add it here. So grades, and the URL, let's say students/grades. All right, so let's try it. Refresh, and as you can see at the bottom here, you'll see the URL for our link. So it says localhost colon 8080 slash student slash grade. So let's click on it, and as you can see, it uses the same layout. So it will be easy for us later on to create a layout and then work on our pages. So this means that we can just simply edit one file and all of our pages will follow or inherit these changes. All right, so we might need to so we'll just add Bootstrap in our layout to at least make it look presentable. So in your URL, just go to getbootstrap.com, and you can just maybe read through. You can take your time, but we wanted to install it on our website. So it's currently 5.1.3, so that's the current version. And let's just download it. So compress CSS and GS, so that's what we want. So compiled, so meaning all of the um, um, comments, white spaces are removed. And by the way, so if we going to check the source or view the source, you'll see here, let's line wrap this so you can see all of the codes. So as you can see, we are seeing a bit of JavaScript codes and comments in our website. So you will only see this since we are running our website on development. So meaning we are just testing and working on our website. So if you want to deploy this where your users, your customers uses your website, so it's very important to set your website as uh, on production. So if we will update this on production in the env file, here in the env file, and set the environment to production, so meaning it's like you already launched your website. So if you're going to refresh this, and you'll only see the basic HTML code that are being rendered by your website. So at least not much information are being shown in your website. So it's very important to at least keep these kind of data minimal, since it will be you will giving up hint or giving hints to people, not just your customer but also let's say hackers, so in general bad people, so they might get an idea and might compromise or get a better way to compromise your website. All right, so that's something that you might need to remember or take note. So let's put this back on development and refresh it, and you'll see again these codes are there. All right. So next, download JavaScript. I think we already downloaded it. No, not yet. So let's download it. All right, let's cut it and put it in the folder where our CodeIgniter can be found. So on my end, it's found on this test folder, and under test folder, you should look for the public folder. And let's say, yep, that's right, public, and you paste it here and you extract it. So once extracted, maybe cut this as well to organize it. All right, so let's just um, rename it as Bootstrap. So under Bootstrap, and I might just delete this because I don't need it. So under the public folder, I added the Bootstrap file. So you need to put it in the public since it will be accessible to your visitors or your customers. So, and yes, you can see here under the CSS, you'll see here bits of Bootstrap file. So what we need here is just the bootstrap.mean.css. So you could use bootstrap.css, but I recommend to just use the bootstrap.mean. So mean means that it's minified. So minified. So basically, it's all your codes are compressed, meaning all of the white lines, the comments are removed to make your code, file compact. If you take a look, the original file is around 201 kilobyte, but on the mean file, it's only 161 kilobytes. So these things doesn't, you won't actually, what do you call this, uh, I think I'm out of words. But basically, these sizes doesn't actually mean anything yet. But if you are having visitors like thousands per hour visitors, so this size really matters. These 161 kilobytes really matters. It will help you to speed up your website and avoid lags or let's say a slow of your website. So we will just use the mean.css. So in our default layout, we could just remove this, and instead we could just create a link. Oops, link CSS. All right. So in the our href, we need to look for the public folder. So let's say slash bootstrap slash bootstrap that mean that css. All right, so let's try it and check. Oops, it's not found. Bootstrap. Oh, I forgot. It's under css. So css slash. Okay, refresh it, and you'll see it look a bit different than earlier. And if you're going to check the source and click on the uh, css file, then it's actually found. So it wasn't found earlier because I put it under the bootstrap folder without the css folder. So take note, in our URL, it always starts in the public folder. So when the visitor visits, all of the traffic goes to this folder first, and after that, Bootstrap will determine which file or which resources to pull out. So that's why I put the CSS or the Bootstrap framework in our public folder. So I think I forgot to mention what is Bootstrap. So basically, Bootstrap is a CSS framework. So same as CodeIgniter, but it's for PHP. So Bootstrap will help you build website very fast and a very responsive mobile website. So later on, we will discuss on how to build responsive layouts using Bootstrap. So for now, maybe we could just take a look at the documentation and maybe copy some of the codes available in Bootstrap. So in Bootstrap, you usually just copy and paste some of their codes, just like this, a starter template. So we could just use this as required by Bootstrap. So copy this and let's replace some of the codes in our default. There we go. And we just need, of course, the link for our Bootstrap. So here, so we just replace this. And of course, our render section. So this is very important. All right. Maybe here. And the, maybe let's just not include this for now. So we could just later. This is for our JavaScript. And of course, we'll just have to remove this. All right, and let's see our website. And of course, as we check the code, so it's working. All right. So in our Bootstrap, there's a thing that we call layout. So in our layout, we have this grid, and in this grid, we can create what do you call this? A responsive website, or just a simple layout for our website. All right, so maybe just copy this. So container, so it's pretty much in our CSS, we have this what we call the class attribute, and as a recommendation, we always wrap our Bootstrap code or basically our CSS code under the class container. So let's copy this and let's see what will happen. So for now, let's just leave. All right, so let's see, or maybe guys just gonna discuss the code first. So we always have to wrap our code in a container, and under the container it should be under the row, and for each row should contain a column. So row is for vertical and column is for horizontal. So let's see. I refreshed it and you'll see we have 3 columns. That is because we have added 3 columns. Maybe let's add another one. So we're just gonna copy this and refresh. So we have right now 4 columns. So if we're going to change the size of our website, so you'll see it's kind of adjusting. So we could say that this layout is more or less uh, mobile responsive. So it responses on the size of our screen. All right. So maybe we could add our uh, layout here. Let's add another div where the class is a row, and inside a row is of course column. class is equals to call. So inside this one is our main content or our section or our layout, the content of our. So refresh this, and of course we see the um, content for our grades view or action. So we could just remove this and maybe explore some of the code from Bootstrap. Let's say the content, forms, components. So let's say let's add a Navbar, and as you can see here, for us to let's say use this, we could just copy this whole code here, and maybe let's just use one column for our heading. So just remove this and copy and paste. So that's very easy. All right, so refresh that and you'll see something like this. So it's a bit a little or it's getting looking a bit nice, unlike earlier. So we have now our let's say a navigation bar on top our page, on top of our pages. Let's update the links. So let's say for the home, let's change that, let's say to this one. So let's just a slash, so meaning root URL. So refresh that, and if you're going to click on that, you'll see at the bottom here it goes to the root URL, and there you go. And next is our what did we created earlier, the students. Let's say students, or we could just copy it. No, yeah, this one. So let's change this, the word link, into let's say grades, and the URL should go to students slash grades, and there you go. So let's click on this, and obviously it goes to this page again. So maybe we'll just fix this later. And yeah, so right now it's a bit looking good. So maybe we could add another something from Bootstrap. So now that we have a link, maybe modal toast accordion. Yeah, so if you want this, so you can just copy this off canvas. Oops. Okay, something's wrong with my screen. All right. So modal off canvas. Yeah, so maybe we could just add it in our code. So maybe let's put it in our grades page or view. There you go. So refresh that. Oops, did not update. Oh well, it's not changing. Okay, so is it really in the grades home? Yep, it's on the grades. Yes, it is. I wonder why, right? Bootstrap again. Okay, so let's try another one. And there you go. So link. Oh, okay. So I see why it's not working. So we need to add our JavaScript, the JavaScript from Bootstrap. So let's take a look under the public, and we have here our JS. So in our Bootstrap, if we go to the documentations first, then you need to add the bundle. So this one. So the Bootstrap bundle that min. So in our layout, should add our so it says here, so our link, but of course we don't need to use these all of the line of the code since we have already have our, so it's under Bootstrap, and under Bootstrap it's under JS, and we could find our bundle. So let's take a look. There you go. So it's working now. So we need some of the components or contents, or yeah, right, components here will require for us to use or include the bundle JavaScript file, so that some of these components will require a JavaScript event for it to trigger. So there you go. So maybe we could yep, it's even the drop down here will look for the bundle JavaScript file for it to work. And there you go. Maybe you could play around with the components from Bootstrap. You could copy like a toast. So maybe let's use this. All right, and integrate. All right, so let's refresh that. Where was it? So button. Okay, let's okay. So let me check again. Maybe this one, since it will trigger, so it doesn't have a button to trigger. Okay, so let's use this, refresh, and oh, it doesn't do anything. Wait. Right. Okay. So it should something here at the bottom should appear, and maybe use this script. Script. Okay, so let's do that. Now there you go. So we have a toast. Basically, it looks very neat pop up here. So maybe it's a way, a cool way for you to display some notifications. So you could use a toast, and maybe on this one, if you want an off canvas or a side menu, so you could use the off canvas. So there you have it. The Bootstrap really made us, let's say, create a website very fast. So we don't need to recreate some of its functionality, like creating a navigation bar let's say a pop-up message. So a Bootstrap offers these features or functionality very easy. So maybe later we could explore more on the components and even on the layouts on how to create different layouts for your website. All right, so maybe I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.